Feel free to express yourselves. Don't be afraid.
You're a figment of my imagination.
Really? Is this a figment of your imagination?
Michael Keaton is back as the crazy bio-exorcist Beetlejuice, whose name must be said 3 times in order to summon him, in Tim Burton's long-awaited sequel, Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, one of few new movies I'll be reviewing this week on CJ at the Movies, along with a modern-day Rambo, and a dysfunctional family drama that I think is a real treasure. I'm Christopher Zweig. Let's take a look. Winona Ryder is also back as the goth girl Lydia Dietz, as well as Kathryn O'Hara as her stepmother Delia, and Lydia now has a teenage daughter named Astrid, played by Jenna Ortega. They all return to the house for the funeral of Lydia's father, but when Astrid ends up in mortal danger, she's forced to summon Beetlejuice, whom she was almost forced to marry in her teens.
I need you to help me save my daughter. And how do I know that you're going to keep your word?
I swear on my dead mother's soul. Yes. Bob, you and the boys stand guard. Nobody gets through.
But Beetlejuice is also targeted by his evil dead ex-wife, played by Monica Bellucci, who is the leader of a soul-sucking cult.
What the f***?
I've had the original Beetlejuice VHS tape when I was a kid, and it was a fun movie. Beetlejuice Beetlejuice doesn't top that film in terms of its story and humor, but it is often very funny and visually stunning, especially when Burton goes back to practical special effects, and when Keaton reprises his role with the right kind of crazy attitude. Despite all the current cynicism in the movie world these days, I had a fun time with this sequel. Our next movie is The Cowboy and the Queen, a documentary that shares its love for the abused horses in this world, and it also tells the story of how Monty Roberts and Queen Elizabeth II loved horses enough to see that there's a better way to train them without violence. There's peace, love, and understanding. If only the whole world got their message for both humans and animals.
Do you think this world could really change in your lifetime? I would have said absolutely not. But when the Queen of England called, she completely changed my life.
Running at 84 minutes, there should be some patience within the story, but there's enough love and support in The Cowboy and the Queen for us to be reminded by these two celebrities that horses have feelings too, and that breaking them shouldn't require violence. It's also complex when the movie tells us how Monty and Elizabeth went through life in various circumstances and how they learned to overcome them. The Cowboy and the Queen has more entertainment value than how Kevin Costner recently presented the first part of his western, Horizon and American Saga, and I'm sure my posse will agree with me on this. Next up, Rebel Ridge, a made-for-Netflix thriller that feels like a modern-day Rambo, especially when it tells the story of an ex-Marine named Terry, played by Pierre, who deals with corrupt officers. Earlier in the film, they confiscate his hard-earned money, which he was going to use to bail out his cousin, and tries to report it to the police, only to be rejected and threatened by the chief, played by Don Johnson.
You do not stand in my station in front of my officers and set terms. You need to be very, very careful.
Let's not do that.
Terry also makes friends with a court clerk and recovering junkie played by Anna Sylvia Robb, who helps him with his case, but they both acknowledge that this small town is corrupt, so he must use his intelligence and skills to play the game.
So I was thinking, what if we just walk away?
Well, now you're starting to talk.
I was like, nah.
Written and directed by Green Room filmmaker Jeremy Saulnier, Rebel Ridge is explosively entertaining and thought-provoking as we start to have a lot of questions as the film begins. There's a lot of racial profiling, and it goes deeper into what this small town is caught in. Greed, money, and power are what keeps things in balance, and the performances from Pierre, Johnson, and Rob are profoundly excellent and daring. Rebel Ridge is on Netflix, so forget Mark Wahlberg and Halle Berry in The Union. Pierre is the real action hero, and he sure knows what he's getting himself into. But we don't know what we're getting ourselves into in our next movie, The Front Room, which stars Brandy Norwood and Andrew Burnett as a pregnant couple who find out that the husband's father has passed away, and his last will and testament requires them to take in his religious stepmother Solange, played by Kathryn Hunter, in exchange for her life savings. The husband has always hated her for her crazy and abusive religious beliefs, but Brandy thinks it could do them good.
Your father, what was his name?
I didn't know him really well.
Call that a broken family.
What the hell?
She thinks that the Holy Spirit possesses her and gives her power.
But boy, is she wrong about her mother-in-law, who becomes a monster-in-law. She's also a racist, a liar, a manipulator, and a big baby who deliberately soils herself. This drives the couple crazy, especially Brandy, who eventually tells her off.
Help me, Belinda. My name is Belinda. Belinda.
I suppose Norwood and Hunter give believable performances in the sense, and they are directed by Robert Eggers' brothers Sam and Max, but The Front Room is just aggravating, mean, and gross, and I'm a big fan of the movie's A24 releases. They can do better than succumb to the behaviors here, so The Front Room should go out the back door and never come back. And our last movie is his three daughters, the latest movie from writer-director Azalea Jacobs, who delivers one of the year's best films about the relationship between three stepsisters who all reunite to aid their dying father. The sisters consist of the pothead Rachel, played by Natasha Lyonne, who still lives at home, the controlling Brooklyn mother Katie, played by Carrie Coon, who tries to talk some sense into her sister about her behavior, and the young mother Christina, played by Elizabeth Olsen, who is separated from her kids for the first time. They all acknowledge that each of them is different and how they have known their father and what came out of their lives.
Katie started drinking a few hours ago.
How do you like the food?
Thank you for the dinner.
Watch her not even wash her dishes.
His Three Daughters features nomination-worthy performances from Lyonne, Olsen, and Coon, and dialogue that allows us to read their characters and acknowledge their lives. There's a unique and complex character study within them, and you're able to connect with them whether or not you have siblings. I mean, what isn't a movie without dysfunctional families every now and then? Jacobs has made a searing Netflix gem, and whether you see it in theaters or wait till it comes on the streaming site, you won't forget it. Now let's recap the movies I reviewed on this week's show. Thumbs up for Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, thumbs up for The Cowboy and the Queen, thumbs up for Rebel Ridge, thumbs down for The Front Room, and thumbs way up for his three daughters. Well, those are the new movies I'm reviewing this week. I'm Christopher Zweig. Stay safe, and I'll see you at the movies. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Well, I guess I'm good here. For more amazing content, please like and subscribe to my channels, and please read my reviews at cjatthemovies.com and download the new HD Radio app.